I don't love you because it's easy. I love you because it stays.
Even when the days feel ordinary, even when nothing is happening,
We learn how silence works between us, how it doesn't mean distance, how it can hold comfort without asking for explanation.
I've seen you at your quietest and your most uncertain, and none of it made me leave.
It only made me understand you more. Love changes shape over time. It loses its urgency and gains its depth, like something that has decided where it belongs. I don't need to say forever to feel committed.
I show it in presence, in staying, in choosing you, even when no one is watching.
When the world feels loud, I want to be the place. You don't have to perform when you're unsure. I want to be the constant you can lean on. If everything else shifts, if plans rewrite themselves, know this: I'm still here, not holding on out of fear, but out of love that knows where it stands. I don't need the room to be quiet to hear you next to me. Your presence has a sound I've learned to recognize. It's in the way the air feels warmer when you're around, the way my thoughts slow down without asking them to. I like how nothing feels urgent when we're together. Time doesn't disappear, it just stops rushing. Sometimes we don't talk much, and that's when I notice it most. How easy it is to stay exactly where we are. Love doesn't always feel dramatic. Sometimes it feels like relief, like finding a seat after standing too long. I don't need you to look at me to feel seen. I don't need your hand in mine to feel close. If there's a place I belong in this moment, it's not ahead, it's not behind, it's just beside you, right here, where everything feels gentle and enough. feels quieter lately. Not because it changed, but because you're closer. And I don't listen as hard. I notice how my shoulders relax when you sit beside me, how my thoughts slow down without effort. There's a comfort in knowing I don't need to explain myself here. You understand the pauses as much as the words. I don't feel like I'm performing when I'm with you. I don't measure my reactions or rehearse my feelings. In the middle of everything, emails, plans, noise, there's this moment where it's only us here and nothing else matters. I used to think love needed proof, big gestures, big moments. Now I think it just needs presence over and over again. If this is what it feels like to be understood, then I don't need more than this. Just staying here with you, where everything finally feels simple. There's no reason to leave just yet. The moment hasn't finished, and neither have we.
I like the way time behaves around you, stretching gently, never pushing us forward.
We don't need to make plans for what comes next.
This part still matters, this part still holds us.
Your voice stays with me even when you're quiet, like a memory forming before the moment ends. I don't ask for more because this already feels complete. Not perfect, just honest and warm. If love grows deeper by staying present, then let's do that. Let's stay a little longer right where we are,
Letting this feeling be exactly what it is,
without rushing
it away. I hope we stay soft, even when days get loud, even when routines blur. listening. I hope we keep choosing patience over assumptions, listening, overreacting. There will be days that don't feel romantic, days that feel ordinary, or tired, or unfinished. But I want to believe that love doesn't disappear there. It just rests until we notice it again. I don't need constant reassurance, I just need the quiet signs. The way you reach for me without thinking, the way you stay. If we keep this tenderness, if we protect it gently, then I think this love will last. Not because it's loud, but because it's kind and steady and willing to stay soft.
I don't think about forever, not in big words, not in promises that feel too heavy to carry. I just think about tomorrow and how it would feel to wake up and find you still here. There's something comforting in not needing to ask, in knowing the answer before the question arrives. We've grown into this pace, not rushing, not waiting, just moving together without checking the distance. Love doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it stays quiet and proves itself by being consistent. If this is how it continues, slow morning, shared silence, familiar smiles, then I hope it stays this way. Not perfect, not dramatic, just honest and close, always this way. We don't lean into each other, we just end up close like gravity, quietly doing its work without announcement. There's no tension in the space between us now. It feels filled even when nothing is said.
I like how our conversations drift from serious to silly and back again without losing their weight. You don't ask me to be better, you just make me feel comfortable being here as I am. Love doesn't always feel exciting, sometimes it feels easy, like knowing where to stand without looking down.
plan this closeness. We didn't force it, it just happened. Slowly, naturally. If there's something worth keeping from all of this, it's this feeling, being close without trying, staying without effort, and knowing that this is enough.
You make loving feel easy, like something I already know how to do. No instructions, no hesitation, just instinct. I don't question my feelings around you. They don't ask to be explained. They just show up comfortable, confident. I catch myself sharing things I usually keep to myself. Not because I have to, but because it feels natural. You listen without leaning away, without trying to fix. And somehow that's exactly what I didn't know I needed. There's joy in the ordinary with you. Simple plans, familiar streets, shared glances that don't need me in. I don't feel like I'm trying when I'm with you. And maybe that's the point. If love is supposed to feel like something you grow into, then this is it. Easy to step into, easy to sit, easy to love without easy love self. It feels like home when I'm with you. Not a place, not a memory, just a feeling that settles in without asking questions. I don't look for exits anymore when we sit together. I don't check the time, I let it pass, knowing it'll come back later. There's something comforting in the way you say my name. Not louder, not softer, just exactly how it should sound. I like how we repeat our days. Same street, same coffee, and somehow they don't get old. They just get warmer. Love doesn't arrive all at once. It builds quietly through shared routines, through small understandings, through choosing to stay. I don't need everything to change. I don't need every day to shine, as long as this feeling remains steady, familiar kind. If I had to explain it simply, I'd say this: being with you feels like coming home every single time. I learned your habits before your stories, the way you pause before speaking, the way you look away when something matters more than you admit. Loving you isn't dramatic, it's practical in the sweetest way. Remembering how you take your coffee, noticing when you're quieter than usual. I don't fall asleep thinking of fireworks, I fall asleep thinking, did you eat well today? Did you laugh even once? Some days love feels like excitement, other days it feels like care. And lately it feels like choosing over and over without hesitation. I like how our days overlap, how my time slowly adjusts to yours. Not disappearing, just making space when you're tired. I don't need to fix anything, I just wanna be near, close enough to let you rest. I don't love you loudly, I love you consistently in the small repetitions that turn into trust. If love is measured by effort, then this is mine, holding you softly so the world doesn't have to be gentle all the time.
It's usually in the small hours when I feel it the most, when the day is finally let go and nothing is asking for attention. We sit in the same room doing different things, you scrolling quietly, me half lost in thought, and somehow that feels like connection. There's comfort in our filling the space and letting the quiet settle naturally. No pressure to entertain, no need to explain. I notice how your breathing slows, how the tension leaves your shoulders, and I realize how much I like being part of that calm. Love doesn't announce itself here, it exists quietly in the way time stretches when no one is watching. I don't reach for you every moment, but I'm aware of you always, like background music that makes everything else feel more complete. If this is what staying looks like, then I welcome it. These small hours where nothing spectacular happens and everything important feels secure.
Some days feel unfinished, and that's okay. Not everything needs solving, not everything needs to move forward. I like the way you sit with things without rushing to change them. Be what they are. When I'm quiet, you don't fill the space, you let me explanation and feel completely understood. Expect love to feel like this, so normal, so easy to reach, like something I'd been using long before I knew its name. You become my ordinary favorite, the person I think of first when nothing special happens, and I wanna tell someone anyway. I like how we plan small things and meals, errands, quiet afternoons, and treat them like they matter, because with you they do. Some days blur together and I don't mind, as long as you're somewhere in there, making the edges softer without trying. I don't count how often you show up, I just notice when you do. Consistently, without needing credit. If love is measured by excitement, this might not look impressive, but if it's measured by comfort, by trust, by choosing again and again. Then this being your ordinary favorite is exactly where I want to stay. I like how you don't rush me, how silence doesn't scare you, how you let moments arrive without trying to shape them. There's safety in the way you listen, not waiting to respond, just letting my words settle where they belong. I don't feel the need to perform around you, to make things sound better than they are. I can arrive unfinished and still feel welcome. Some nights I talk too much, other nights hardly at all. And you don't measure my worth by either version. I've started thinking of you as a place my thoughts return to after long days, after scattered feelings, after everything else fades. always feel exciting. Sometimes it feels reliable, like knowing there's a chair exactly where you left it. If the world asks too much and I don't have answers, I know this. You are a soft place to land, and that's more than enough.
I still check in, not because I worry, but because I care enough to stay connected. It's not urgent, it's not dramatic, just a quiet habit that formed naturally over time. I ask how your day was, already knowing the answer, because I can hear it in the way you say hello. Some things don't need updating, they just need attention. And I've learned the difference by being here long enough. There's comfort in routine when it's chosen, when it grows from familiarity instead of obligation. I don't keep track of effort anymore because it doesn't feel like work, it feels like staying aware of someone who matters. If love is measured in consistency, then this is how I show it. Still checking in, still listening, still here, without needing a reason. I don't always say what I notice, but I notice everything. The way you sigh when you sit down, the way your shoulder relax when you finally feel at home. I notice how your voice changes when you're tired, our sentence is short, and now you stop explaining because you trust I already understand. Loving you doesn't feel loud, it feels steady, like knowing where the light switch is without looking, like remembering something your body hasn't asked for yet. Some days nothing happens, no stories to tell, no plans to replay, just the comfort of being nearby, doing separate things in the same space. I think that's when I feel the most, this quiet certainty that I wanna stay, not because I'm afraid, always choosing, always here, even when nothing special is happening at all. There's no rush in your voice anymore, no hesitation in mine. It's like we found a rhythm that doesn't need adjustment. I like how comfortable it feels to talk about nothing and still feel connected. Like meaning isn't always in the words. We don't question this moment, we let it exist, knowing it doesn't need to be bigger than it is. I don't wonder what comes next, not because I don't care, but because I care enough to stay present. If this chapter had a name, it would be this: being close, being curious, being content, not chasing ahead, not looking back, just standing together right where we are. We didn't build this quickly, and I'm glad we didn't. It gave us time to notice the details that last. Every shared moment added something small, until one day it felt solid without us realizing. When that happened, we learned how to disagree without pulling away, how to be quiet without feeling alone. There's trust here now, not because we promised it, but because we practiced it day after day in ordinary ways. I don't remember the exact moment this became important, I just know it did. If love is something you grow into rather than fall into, then this is us, built slowly, carefully, and strong enough to stay. We don't talk about how far we've come, but I can feel it in the way we move around each other now.
There's no hesitation anymore, no wondering where to stand. We've learned the shape of this space by living in it.
Some days are exciting, others are quiet,
Most are somewhere in between, and I've learned to love all of them.
I like
Knowing your schedule, not to control it,
but to understand where your day ends and where I can meet you.
You don't make promises often, you don't need to. You show up, and that has become enough. If love isn't about intensity, but about presence, then this is it.
Standing next to you day after day, not because we have to, but because we choose to. And tomorrow we'll probably do it again. without making it a big deal. Just being here every day. There's a space between your messages where I start imagining things. Not because you disappear, but because I enjoy the waiting. I never rush to reply anymore. I read your words twice, once to understand them, and once just to hear how they sound in my head. Somewhere between notifications and the silence that follows, my day begins to shift, becoming less about schedules and more about anticipation. I catch myself smiling at nothing, walking faster without reason, as if momentum alone could bring the next moment sooner. I tell myself to stay calm, this is just the beginning, but beginnings have a way of rearranging priorities without asking permission. I like how this feels unfinished, how nothing is settled yet, how excitement lives comfortably next to uncertainty. Ooh, if love starts quietly, I think it sounds like this: a message waiting to be sent, and a heart perfectly fine with waiting a little longer. I thought the excitement would settle by now, fade gently into something familiar, but it hasn't. It keeps surprising me in small, unexpected ways. Every time I think I've figured out this feeling, it shifts slightly, like it wants to stay interesting just a little longer. I notice how naturally you've entered my days, not interrupting anything, just fitting in as if you were always meant to be there. I don't overthink our moments, I just enjoy how they land, how conversations flow easier, how laughter comes quicker, how silence doesn't feel empty. There's a confidence growing quietly, not about the future, but about the present, about how good this feels right now. If this is what it's like when something good begins to settle, then I'm in no hurry, because honestly it just keeps getting better.
The city feels kinder lately, even the lights look softer, like they've decided to walk me home gently. I hum songs without noticing, tap my fingers in rhythm. Every step feels lighter, as if I'm carrying good news I haven't shared yet. I think about you randomly,
didn't notice the distance at first. Only the way your voice stayed longer than it needed to. Every conversation felt unfinished, not because it lacked words, but because I didn't want it to end. I caught myself replaying small moments, how you smiled before answering, how your hands moved when you spoke, as if they were translating thoughts you didn't say out loud. Love didn't arrive loudly, it came quietly, like something carefully placed beside my everyday life. I used to walk without thinking, but now every step feels measured, as if I'm always heading somewhere, even when I'm not sure where. You stood close enough that I could feel your presence without touching, and somehow that felt more intense than anything physical. I started noticing the time differently, minutes stretching, seconds slowing, as if the world was giving us room to figure each other out. I don't need promises yet, I don't need certainty, I just want this closeness, this gentle gravity pulling me toward you. If love begins somewhere, I think it begins right here in the quiet space between curiosity and courage, where I'm close enough to stay.
I like the pace we're moving at, nothing rushed, nothing forced, just enough to feel real. There's comfort in not knowing everything, not mapping it all out, letting moments arrive when they're ready. I don't feel the need to label what we're building, I can feel it growing without naming it, and that feels right. Sometimes I catch myself thinking, this is exactly where I wanna be, not ahead, not behind, just here. I trust the way we check in without asking, the way care shows up without announcement. If love needs time, then I'm happy to give it, because this version of waiting doesn't feel empty, it feels full. There's no need to hurry when the present already feels good enough.
We've arrived somewhere without realizing it, not at a destination, but at a feeling that feels steady. no hesitation in mind.
It's like we found a rhythm
That doesn't need adjustment. I like how comfortable it feels
to talk about nothing.
and still feel connected.
Like meaning isn't always in the words.
We don't question this moment, we let it exist, knowing it doesn't need to be bigger than it is. I don't wonder what comes next, not because I don't care, but because I care enough to stay present. If this chapter had a name, it would be this: being close, being curious, being content. Not chasing ahead,
Not looking back.
just standing together right where we are. We didn't plan to walk this way, it just happened. Two separate routines slowly overlapping without discussion.
I noticed how easy it felt to keep pace with you. No rushing,
No pulling back, just matching steps naturally.
you talked about small things like they mattered, and somehow they did.
Because you were saying them,
And I was listening.
there's a quiet excitement in discovering someone new, learning their timing, their habits, the pauses between their thoughts. We're not making promises, we're not naming anything yet, we're just moving forward side by side.
Letting the rhythm decide.
Sometimes our hands brush and neither of us react, as if that closeness
Already feels normal.
already feels earned.
If love is momentum,
Then this is where it begins, not loudly, not suddenly, but steadily, in the simple choice to keep moving in the same direction. We don't talk about where this goes, but we both feel it moving like something gently unfolding without instructions. There's comfort in not naming it, letting moments stack naturally day after day until they start to feel familiar in the best way.
I notice how we listen better now, how jokes land easier,
How silence doesn't interrupt us,
it just sits between us
without tension. Sometimes our hands meet and neither of us reacts, as if closeness has already found its place. We're learning each other slowly, not rushing the discovery, letting details surface when they're ready, not when we demand them. This isn't a promise and it isn't a plan, it's just momentum, shared direction, and mutual curiosity.
If love is a journey, then maybe this part matters most. The part where we're not there yet, but we both know we're getting there together.
I don't mind the week anymore, because it always leads to you. Even boring days feel useful now, like they're building up to something. I start noticing the calendar counting down without meaning to. Thursday already feels closer than it used to. Friday nights don't need a plan, they already know where I'll be. Walking faster than usual, pretending I'm not excited while clearly being excited. I like how nothing feels heavy yet. No expectations, no explanations, just the comfort of looking forward to something simple. You laugh at the smallest things, and somehow that feels important. Like joy doesn't need a reason, it just needs permission. It's not love yet, but it's moving in that direction. I can feel it in my chest whenever I imagine a weekend starting. If this turns into something more, I'll think about it, it happens. For now I'm happy right here where the weekends and everything good starts with you.
I keep catching myself smiling for reasons I can't fully explain yet. Like my body noticed something before my mind was ready to agree. Every day seems feel rewritten, the same streets, the same signs, but somehow lighter, as if they've been waiting for me to notice them properly. I replay your messages slowly, not searching for meaning, just enjoying the rhythm of how you talk, how you pause, how you choose your words. It's strange how quickly you slipped into my routine. Morning thoughts, afternoon distractions, late night reflections I didn't plan. I still tell myself this isn't serious yet, but my heart doesn't listen, it stays awake longer, hums quietly whenever your name appears. I don't wanna label this or rush it forward. I like the space we're in where everything feels possible, and nothing feels heavy. If this is the beginning, I don't wanna skip ahead, I wanna stay right here. Almost yours, balance between excitement and the thrill of not knowing. Because right now this uncertainty feels beautiful, like standing on the edge of something good and letting it take its time.